howdy, Joseph.
Hi, hello, how are you?
We heard the news,
We're quite enthused.
and the only thing to do
What should we do?
is strum this guitar
And sing to the stars.
and serenade you.
You survived, and that's true. I thought I'd send a little wish to you.
That is some mighty fine fiddling. But hey, let's pick it up.
All right.
That's more like it. Yeehaw!
Play it for Joseph.
All right, now where were we? Okay, you're still standing, and that's pretty great.
Joseph!
You know what? You kicked its butt. It's time to celebrate.
Joseph!
Wurzel jingle jangle.
It's time to do-si-do.
So grab yourself a partner and let's see go.
Cause it's a
Jingle jangle here and a jingle jangle there. A jingle jangle inspiration everywhere. A jingle jangle here and a jingle jangle there.
a jingle jangle inspiration everywhere.
All right.
Woo, yeah.
That's how you tell it.
Hello, how y'all doing? Hi, Joseph. I hear that you have a show, not famous, and wish you good luck with your show, and I thank you what you're doing for your audience and your people that you're trying to make impression on their life. So good luck with your show, and thank you for all you do. Bye, Joseph.
I just want you to know that I practiced this word about 20 times to make sure that I did not mispronounce it.
I have a question. Has anyone ever said with all due respect and then not followed up with a zinger?
His side of the bed. If I come in and I'm on the other side, he will move it. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Which side do you like? With all due respect, you make a good point.
Cheery Oreos! Toasted Oreos!
Mute. He's muted.
I love what he's saying. He doesn't need sounds.
You're so small, squishing your head, Joseph.
You can.
Do it with me, Joe.
With all due respect, you really do look handsome, Bruce. Cheery Oreos! Toasted Oreos!
Look at you. You are insane.
How did I do that?
You're
How did I do
insane.
that? You just made the intro reel. Yes, you did. Well, hello, everybody. It is June 14th. It is halfway through the sixth month. The Leith Police dismisseth us. The Leith Police dismisseth. See, the tongue twister. We're almost halfway through the year. I'm excited because I now have mirroring available, which means left hand, right hand. I don't have to do the opposite anymore. So if I want to point to the door, boom. If I want to point to, I don't know, QR code to give you some Jaffe coin, boom. I love it. Raise the QR code roof. Come on. Raise the roof with me. Let's see who's watching. It's a family affair. My mom is watching. My brother is watching. Is anybody else watching? I mean, I could just do a Zoom with my family. Hopefully some other people will be joining us too. You know what? It's totally fine. I live to serve my family, and you watching, whether it's live or on demand, well, you're my family as well. Well, I hope you are well. This is going to be an interesting show. It's going to be a private show. It's not really private, but I mean, it's, intimate, I suppose. I just saw a nice like from Ruben Steiger. Ruben, I'm glad you're here because we're going to be talking about virtual first today. Did you know that? Were your ears burning? Because we're talking about crypto or crapto, as I like to say. The market is in the toilet, in the pooper, and even poop emojis are not exactly going to save us. The only thing or people that can save us is us, is ourselves. Sometimes we're the only people that can save ourselves from ourselves. But ultimately, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the show We're going to talk about some. I know more than some might guess. I know you do. I know you do. You know, what do they say? Metaverse call. They want no Second Life call. They want their metaverse back. We'll talk about that later. I've even got some video footage letting the cat out the bag. You know, I thought what I would do today is a solo show. I said private, but what I meant was a solo show, an opportunity just to have a bit of a one-on-one with you, and maybe we'll have some guests coming on the show. Ruben, you might even be able to come on the show. I'm going to flash a StreamYard link a little bit later, but actually the people that are able to come straight on the show are super fans, and I'm going to talk about some of the things that I'm doing. You know, I've been using this analogy now, which is can't stop, won't stop. You can't stop. You know, I love the idea of the shark. When the shark stops swimming, it dies or it's dead. Or the hummingbird, whether that's urban legend or myth, it doesn't matter. But the analogy is that you just keep moving. You keep treading water. You keep on, the boxer keeps on moving their feet. The minute that you stop, you fall behind. The minute you stop, you are dead or you are dying. And we don't want that to happen in this bear market, in this really, really difficult time. I mean, you saw the whole idea of I survived. Yeah, I survived 2020 and COVID. And then I survived 2021 and open heart surgery. And now 2022, recession, depression, bear market, crypto in the crapto. I mean, the hits just keep on coming. And the only thing to do is just to keep moving on. So I want to share with you kind of where I am on this journey, on this quest. And at any, given point in time, just ask comments, come on, the show. Perhaps we will just have, I hope, a moment of motivation today. So I want to start off with what I've been saying lately, which is my manifestation for the show. I've been doing the show for 2.5 years. The audience isn't where I want it to be yet, but at the same time, I care about the people that are watching right now. That's why I give away Jaffe coin, because I'm not looking over. You know, many times when you go to a conference and people are looking through you and they're looking over you. I'm not looking through you. I'm not looking over you. I'm just looking at you. I'm looking to you. And we'll figure it out. Ultimately, if everyone who watches the show tells one person and they tell one person, that's how the show will grow. But I'm building this show to last. I'm building this show to survive and thrive. And that's why I'm manifesting my goal. My goal is HBO Max or Apple TV Plus or Hulu or Netflix or Prime or CNBC or Cheddar. All I need is you. But actually, all I need is one person, as I've been saying, one person that believes in me, that believes in the show, that says, hey, you might want to check this guy out. He's not half bad, which means I'm not half good. But whatever, I'll take it. I'll take the 50% as well. And I want you to do that as well. I want you to start to manifest. I want you to not keep your goals and your hopes and your dreams to yourself. I want you to put it out there, because what is the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that can happen is you fail. But then you pick yourself up and you try again and you pivot and you change course and you adapt and you evolve. And maybe, just maybe, you'll have people helping you along the way. As Dan Pink said, as you get older, and you can see some white hairs on my, on my chinny chin chin. As you get older, the regrets that you have are not regrets of action, they're regrets of inaction. So don't be that person. Don't let that happen to you. Don't only start addressing your professional bucket list when it's too late and you're looking back on what might have been. All right, well, I'll tell you what is, not might have been, what is happening is that I've taken, and look, by the way, things are not great right now in crypto land. The Jaffe coin is doing its best to keep its head above water. The Jaffe coin is sitting at about $4.37. It was once $15, but the Jaffe coin is doing great by itself. The Jaffe coin right now has an exchange rate relative to the rally of about 115 to 1. When I got the coin, it was 1 to 1. That means the coin has essentially increased relative to the rally by a multiple of 115 to 1. The rally has dropped from $1.40 to 3.5 cents. I hope it stops. But the Jaffe coin continues to increase and rise. And if you have Jaffe coin, you can actually do something with it. You know, the whole thing that we're learning about this Web3 space is that if you can actually get value and utility from holding the NFT or holding the coin, then it doesn't really matter what the price is. It only actually matters what the price is when you sell it. And then you realize a gain or you realize a loss, and that's a taxable event. But until that happens, you're essentially playing with not the house's money, but with the host's money, right? You're playing with my coin, and you have the ability to benefit. So if you go into my Discord server, my not famous Discord server, and you validate your Rally account, if you hold one coin, all of the show's channels open up for you. So, for example, an after show or a guest bio or a calendar, you get to now interact with the show and see what's going on with the show. But if you have 10 coin, now you're eligible to win NFTs that I give away or coin that I drop on a regular basis. So, for example, when you see this NFT, and some of you know this, so bear with me as I share it again. But this NFT right now, this QR code right now is only live when the show is live, but also you need to hold 10 coin in order to be able to get Jaffe coin. So essentially I give away 0.1 every day. And, you know, you can get 4, 5, 10 Jaffe coin over the course of a month or two just by watching the show. Sometimes I increase it, sometimes I surprise and I delight. It's not a bad thing as well. Cyrus says it's time to buy more Jaffe coin. Well, the Jaffe coin might not be the Jaffe coin. So just make sure that it's Jaffe. But yes, Cyrus, it really is. It really is. I mean, it's $4.37. In fact, this is actually a really, really important insight right now. Really important, which is right now, the market is prime for USD, for normies, for people coming into the market. The market is in really, really poor shape for people that are in with crypto, that have bought crypto, that have seen their liquidity drain from their wallets and their bags. But if you were to come in and buy Jaffe coin, for example, at $4.37, this coin hasn't been at that level since probably a year ago. And remember, if you were to convert that back to rally, you're getting 115 rally, whereas before you would have got 1 or 3 or 5. I'm serious. It's like if you're buying some of the NFT collections right now, the biggest NFT collections, the Lazy Lions and, you know, and probably Sappy Seals and even Bored Ape and CryptoPunks and World of Woman, the gold, you know, the blue chip NFT collections are more affordable than they've ever been if you're coming in with fiat, if you're coming in with USD. So if you've got the liquidity, and not a lot of people do, this is a good time. It is a good time to buy Jaffe coin. It is a good time to buy crypto. It is a good time. You know, it's actually very frustrating. Like, if I may be honest with you for a moment. In fact, hopefully I'm always honest with you. But it's really it's really irritating when people say, you know what, I want the market to go down even more because I'm going to buy more. I'm going to buy more. Buy the dip, buy the dip. A lot of people don't have the liquidity right now to buy the dip. So when people say that, they're trying to motivate, but they're actually really rubbing salt in the wounds. Right now, I think it's really important that we don't brag, whether it's humble brag or we don't boast. We should be very careful about how we communicate our successes. At the same time, we don't want to lament about what might have been. We don't want to lament and pour and add insult to injury by talking about how bad things are. So little victories are important, but when we celebrate those victories, I think it's important to celebrate them with humility. And always remember who is on the other side of the camera, or on the other side of the screen, or on the other side receiving your message. When I sell an alpha collective pass, which I'll talk about, I have to, I have to realize, even though I might be struggling, or even though I might have struggled in the past, someone could be struggling even more than me. At least I've put myself in a position to win, but so many people are not in that position to win. So just some thoughts, and I'll keep on adding them. Thank you, Cyrus, for buying some Jaffe coin. Cyrus, what you want to do is figure out how to move to a super fan, and I'll show you why that's important. You probably are a super fan. You just haven't validated right now. But this is what happens when you're a fan. Here's what happens. Oh, I forgot to mention, I promised that I would do a drawing for this beautiful giraffe NFT. I believe, not financial advice, do your own research, that these giraffes are going to eventually go to the moon. I really, really believe it. But more importantly, forget about that part of it. Just think about the utility that comes out of being part of the Giraffe Tower. Because I hold 25 giraffe, I get access to a tool called Social Connector, which is going to revolutionize the NFT business, the community business, the Web3 business. You heard it here first if you haven't heard it before. But let me just share, if I may, share my screen. I am going to be giving this away. And here's the thing. There are two people. I realize that I kind of messed up a little bit, which is I gated the ability to enter the drawing. So there are two people. They're both giraffe owners that hold this. So Bunzinator, you've been asking me about the drawing. Bunzinator is a super fan, holds more than 100 Jaffe coin. Bunzinator, you said that if you win this giraffe, you are going to pay it forward and share it with someone, with a new giraffe holder. So I'm going to give this to you, and hopefully April will be okay with that. I'm going to transfer this to you later today, and in turn, you're going to gift it to a new giraffe owner and holder, and perhaps they will join me in coffee every morning at 5 a.m. I still can't believe I'm doing it right now. So where it says owned by Jaffe Juice, it's going to be saying owned by Bunzinator, but not for long, because you're going to be paying it forward. So now I've done my part. Now, if you are an insider, well, insiders at 25 coin, you get two perks. And here, I think these are substantial. First of all, you get show notes. Now, I'm taking show notes every single episode. It's become a bit of an art for me and a skill to be able to actively listen, but also to be able to make sure that I don't let the moment pass. So we had a whole conversation about esteem, about confidence, about human connection, about intention. Lubna, it's so amazing. Lubna, who watches the show, she's also part of the Giraffe Tower. She manifested that she would be asked to come on the show at one point. And guess what? I invited her onto the show, but I had no idea that she had manifested that. She had never told that to me. She had just commented the whole time. She was a regular, and she was smart, and she added so much value that I said, Lubna, why don't you come on the show? So intention and inspired action, or sometimes intention plus emotion. It's not just good enough to want something. You have to be able to make it happen. You have to do more to make it happen. And then Tom Morris, I got to say, at 41 minutes, what a brilliant vignette, Thieves of Time. He spoke about this idea of thieves of time. He said, be wary of people wasting their time, because invariably they'll end up wasting yours. It just absolutely blew me away. Now, one of the other things that you get if you are an insider, if you hold 25 coin, is you actually get access to 1-minute highlights. For a while, I stopped doing them. I was just too busy. But now I've started to catch up on them. Some of them I'm sharing publicly just to give you a little glimpse. But a lot of them now will only be posted to insiders and up. So I'd like to share a few with you. Here's Natalie Nicole from last week, and we had an amazing conversation about the definition of luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Now, preparation, hard work, 10,000 hours, doing the reps. I've been working on the show for 2.5 years. The hard work is there, there's no doubt. But what's the opportunity? Well, the opportunity can happen through dumb luck. Someone happens to stumble and watch. But the opportunity can also occur by me manifesting what my goal is, and someone who knows someone who knows someone makes that introduction. But then there's another aspect to opportunity, and Natalie will tell you more. Oftentimes, it doesn't matter how talented we are and how hard we work. We need a little bit of luck.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't call it luck per se. I would call it just divinity, a blessing. Ultimately, I think what people will find if they work hard enough and they actually start to gain traction, they realize that it's just based off of you putting in effort for yourself and staying consistent and continuing to grow in your knowledge. I don't think it's luck. I think it's hard work.
Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity.
Absolutely.
Hard work, putting yourself, and maybe that's the reconciliation, Natalie, which is the idea of preparation and opportunity. The preparation is the hard work. The opportunity is the divinity. Maybe that's the right formula for luck.
I can agree with that.
And here's Billy Bowie talking about the concept of elevation, and I'll comment afterwards. To me, elevation is about stand up, stand tall, rise up, be proud, step up. So for me, elevation I think of as vertical, and growth and maturation and evolution is horizontal. And you put the two of them together, you have a Johnny Walker commercial. But in all seriousness, that's how I see elevation. It's this idea of over to you.
I love it. Well, what I love about the word elevate, you can start from anywhere. It doesn't matter what, if you're at sea level or if you're starting way above sea level, you start wherever you are. We just knew that there was an idea to help people and organizations, which is our vision, to help them live and lead at a higher level. So take them where they currently are and to help them grow.
So what I really loved about that idea is we always talk about movement and momentum and moving forward, right? In fact, there are 3 parts. This is really interesting. One, I spoke about this idea of the shark and the hummingbird, like don't stop bobbing and weaving, this idea of just stay in motion, right? Don't atrophy, don't let inertia sit in. There's the other idea of moving forward, which is momentum, right? Keep on making progress. Even if sometimes you're heading down the wrong path, you can still course correct, but you want to make progress and develop some kind of momentum. The third part is this idea of elevation. And I loved how Billy said you can start from anywhere. That's great. It's true, right? It doesn't matter. You don't have to be at sea level below. You can always lift, rise up. But this idea of standing up and standing tall and being able to raise your head above the crowd, which sometimes can even represent sticking your neck out. So there's a lot of really interesting thinking there. I'm going to show you one more for now, and this is an interesting one from G.I. Zaratarian. Zaratarian. I'm like now looking at it and thinking, yeah, it is Zaratarian. I think I misspelt it now looking on my notes. But he spoke about this concept. This is a tough one about outgrowing relationships. And again, let me show it to you and then I'll comment on it afterwards. But then there's also another point there, which is this is a very difficult concept to recognize, that the people that you associate yourself with now you may not associate yourself with in a month or a year from now, because you might outgrow them or they might outgrow you.
I totally agree. I think that's a really good point. People change, and sometimes they show their true colors more so on social media because you're hiding behind that screen. I think back to like the presidential election when Donald Trump became president, you got to see different sides of people that maybe you just didn't talk about in person because politics is one of those taboo topics, but all of a sudden you saw it on social media. It's like, ooh, they said that? Like, that's going to be weird seeing them in person and not having that come up as a topic of conversation, right? But that's the third dimensional world we live in now, where you've got the added element of social media.
So this is an interesting one because, you know, I'm like a fiercely loyal person, and if you believe in me, if you buy into me, I'm with you forever. And if you spurn me or turn your back to me, I'm trying hard. I used to be like, you're dead to me. Now I'm not like that. But I do think that this idea of moving through your life and recognizing that if the people around you are not growing with you, and if you're not moving in the same direction, momentum, elevation, etc., with them, sometimes you do leave them behind. Sometimes they leave you behind, or sometimes your paths are divergent and not parallel or even convergent. And I think people do show their true colors during good times and bad times. And you know what? They reveal themselves. And you just can't, you know, you can try and mask it, but it's really, really hard to. So even in this NFT world of doxing and undoxing and people hiding behind avatars, it's very, very easy to see someone's true colors based on who stands up and who steps up and who goes to bat for a friend or even sometimes a stranger during the good times, during the bad times, etc. So I don't know why, but I felt kind of sad with that vignette, but it is the truth, and I think I need to live my life more like that in the future. Now, just to keep going, if you're a VIP, this is a very simple one, 50 coin. You get a backstage pass, which means you can come as often as you want until eventually it's full, and you get to hang out with myself and my guests 15 minutes before the show, ask them some questions, maybe network with them, maybe even get their business card or their contact details, maybe even come on the show and ask a question if you have a burning question for them. So it's kind of like a direct path to myself and my guest. And then finally, the superfan. Now, the superfan is really special. And the idea, this is called a ladder, right? It's a funnel, it's a ladder. The idea is to move naturally from one coin to 100 coins. There might be something that comes afterwards, a 250 level, a 500 level, a 1,000 level, but there isn't one at the moment. At 100, you get a whole bunch of benefits. For example, today, superfans at any point in time can come on the show. I've sent them the link to the show. They can come on. They can promote something themselves, somebody else, their business, a product, a client. They have a direct path on the show. They can create content for the show. They can come in and also interview or ask a guest a question. In addition, superfans can also, there's another benefit, which is a monthly phone call with me where we can talk about the show. They can come up with guests, suggestions for the show. I'll go and try and bring them on the show. They can give advice to me, but also I can give advice to them if they're looking to start a show or just in general to pick my brain. My time is no longer available via traditional methods. And anyone who calls me up saying, hey, I'd like to take you out to lunch and I'll give you a free lunch to pick your brain, I'm not interested. I'm sorry. I know how to eat and I need to lose weight. There's no more free lunches anymore. I'm going to spend time with people that I care about and that I want to spend time with. So no picking, no brain picking anymore. Superfans can pick my brain, and people that are part of the Alpha Collective can pick my brain. Another thing that I've done is I've decided to turn my superfans, different superfans, but also superfans, into booking agents. So all of my speaking now is focused and is only available through these NFTs, which can be purchased through my website. So I want you to see that even during these tough times, I'm experimenting. Look, people might look and say, you're all over the show. You're speaking into NFTs, you're launching the Alpha Collective, you've got your show, you've got your coin. You know what? It's all connected. It's all connected at the end of the day, because it's all about time and money, and both of them are in short supply. So these are ways to engage with me and ways that I can help using the very principles that I preach. That's always been a part of my strategic DNA, which is not just to be the academic, not just to, prognosticate, but actually to be a builder, And that, to me, is what I'd like to talk about in terms of my seated soliloquy today. And then I'd like to also just, I will get into just some thoughts on the current state of affairs. So the soliloquy is called To Be a Builder. Now, I have to tell you that the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life is to be a seller, with sales. When I left the agency world, I realized how much privilege I had as a buyer. Everybody fell at my feet. Everybody fawned over me, but it was all fake. It was all false. All the media sellers and the publishers telling me how great my articles were. I mean, I'm sure they were great, but everyone wanted to be near me because I was a buyer and I had budget. But the minute and the moment I was a seller, suddenly those people not so friendly anymore. Again, the idea of true colors. And then I realized how hard it was to sell. Hardest thing I've ever done in my life was to sell. Hardest thing I'd ever done in my life was to become an entrepreneur. In some cases, it worked really well, like with Crayon. In other cases, not as well. Evolution was a 5 to 6 year love affair, but I wasn't able to take it to the next level. So being a seller, being an entrepreneur, and now hardest thing I've ever done is to be a builder, is to launch my own collection, is to be able to put it out there, in a world that lives and dies visibly and publicly through the blockchain. Alpha Collective is out there. I'm letting it all hang out. This is me. This is the full Monty of me. But I'll tell you something. It is the most liberating feeling in the world to say that I'm a builder. I'm a builder now. I'm not just a DJ. I'm not just a crypto enthusiast. I'm not just a collector. I'm a builder. I've built something. I have a smart contract. I have an NFT. It works. I have a Discord server. And every day I'm building something new and something more and something substantial. And I'm going to talk about Alpha Collective in a moment. But I want you to be a builder too. I want you to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty. Look, this is not salt of the earth building, whom I respect tremendously, people that really work with their hands. There are no calluses on these hands. They're only, virtual calluses. I think physical manual labor is really, really hard. That's hard. I mean, being an NFT builder, not so hard, but being a real builder, really hard. But I think if you can move your status, a seller, an entrepreneur, a builder, every time you push yourself a little bit further, every time you put yourself out there, you gain something. You gain something that makes you, defines you, and turns you into a credible resource. Now, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Alpha Collective. As I said, I'm trying to show you about all the things that I'm doing during this downtime. There is method to the madness here, which is I want you to say, my God, he's doing a lot, maybe too much, but he's not slowing down. He's not giving up. In fact, he's excited. He's passionate. He's doing more. He's doing more. Can't stop, won't stop. Because there's no going back. The bridges, the boats are burnt. It is time to move forward. So a couple ways that I've been thinking about how to position, how to sell the Alpha Collective. One of the ways is to say for under $50 a week, you get access to 52 Alpha Talks, to 52 Alpha Talk speakers. It is unprecedented. Never in the history of the world has something like this been offered. 52 keynotes in 52 weeks. And these are not schleppers. These are not schlenters. These are not also Rands. These are incredible people. In fact, I'll move a little bit forward. Just yesterday, I announced Brian Fanzo, friend of the show, previous guest on the show, advisor to Alpha Collective, will be one of the Alpha Talk speakers, as will Shira Lazar. She will also be one of the Alpha Talk speakers. And a little bit of extra alpha, Todd Kaplan, who's the chief marketing officer of Pepsi, is going to be one of our Alpha Talk speakers as well. So slowly but surely, I'm building what I believe will be one of the most special, unique group of thought leaders, builders, practitioners, Web3 subject matter experts, but also people that are anti-Web3. The perspective over 52 weeks is going to be just beyond. And the thing about it, as you may know, is that when I say for under $50 a week, you can gain access to all of this. You can buy into Alpha Collective. You can stick around for a month or two, and then you can sell the pass if you choose to. But I'm betting that you will never part with this pass. You will sell every other NFT in your wallet before you sell this one. I'm betting on that. And in addition to that, I mean, one of the cool things is that you really can make money on it, which is different. This is not a spent or sunken cost. This really is an investment in your future. It's not an investment in a financial object. It's not that at all. It is an investment in you. Choose your future, choose your job security. Now, right now, the price for an Alpha Collective, an NFT or pass, is 1.5 ETH. The actual exchange rate right now is 2.08 ETH. I am maintaining it at 1.5 ETH. It could go lower, which means the actual price could be 2.5 ETH. You really can buy a pass right now and gain 0.58 ETH off the bat. You really can do it. I mean, you're taking advantage of me, and I want you to do that. If you go through fiat, through credit card, it's still $2,500. That price is fixed. But in a way, you're paying a bit of a premium for the safety of fiat. You're getting a discount for being in crypto. Of course, I hope it doesn't last for long, but I also hope it does, because I want this to be affordable. I want you to be able to afford your way into it. One more thing. Every single new member will get a 5-minute cameo on this show. So I am going to greet every new member by name. I am going to celebrate them. I'm going to promote them across all of my social media channels, and I will give you a 5-minute piece of content. If you were to go and hire an agency or hire an interviewer to do a 5-minute piece of content with you, you're probably going to pay about $2,500. So this is my approach, which is to keep adding value. And this is something I said last night on Alpha Mondays. Keep adding value. I am value obsessed. I am utility obsessed. My North Star, I am aspirationally promising to all members to deliver 100x in value and utility. I'm not contractually saying that I will, but I will measure it, and I will prove as best as I can that I can give you 100x in value and utility. I was saying to someone earlier today, it's unbelievable how easy it is to really create something substantial in the Web3 space, and yet nobody does it. Why? Because, as someone once taught me, marketing is common sense, but how many of us have common sense? It's common sense to promise and deliver. It's common sense to underpromise and overdeliver. It's common sense to be customer-centric or member-centric or user-centric. It's common sense to treat people like gold, especially when they give you their gold. So 100x, see if I'm wrong, should you choose to come along with me for this journey. So those are all the things I'm doing. I think it's a fair amount. Now I'd like to spend the last 20 minutes talking to you about the state of the market. And I want you to realize that this is Groundhog Day. You are right now, you are Phil Connors. You are trapped in a broken record that keeps on repeating itself. I'm not trapped in it because I've been able to escape. I've been able to crack the code. Maybe I'm the person on the other side listening to the broken record. Why? Because I've seen people making the same mistakes over and over again. I've seen it with digital, with social, with mobile. I've seen it with all of these tools and technologies. And every single time Gartner calls it the hype curve. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. People get burnt, they run away, they wait for someone else to make the first move. But it's the same broken record. We don't want to mess up. We don't want to get fired. We want to get promoted. We don't want to get left behind. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how brands continue to make the same mistakes. I mean, case in point, the Super Bowl, the stupid bowl, right? Every year we have an opportunity to crush it. And what do? We under-deliver and underwhelm. It took Coinbase with their stupid little QR code to really, really disrupt the status quo by actually saying you're not going to win by figuring out which celebrity you're going to overpay to basically gratuitously deliver borrowed interest. What you've got to do is break the mold, break the container. So I want to tell you that we've been here before. I don't want to tell you we've been here before. I want to prove it to you. So look at this. This is just incredible, right? Look at the date, by the way. Look at the date. Can you see the date? This is .com land. This is .com boom and bust land. And the headline is Internet. Let me go down there. Internet may be just a passing fad as millions give up on it. I mean, come on. Steal this image and use this in every damn presentation that you ever give until the end of time, not just for Web3 and crypto and NFTs and metaverse, but based on the fact that internet may just be and we've got all these quotes, right? Who was it? I think it was Rupert Murdoch. I was hoping this internet fad would just pass. I think he said that as well. Bob Farnham says, what a headline. Unbelievable, right? And there's more like that. I was there. I lived through it with digital, with social. I remember saying, but 25%, user consumption or time spent, and yet only 1% of dollars chasing it. I remember those conversations. I remember being at Unilever's Verge, I think they called it Verge conference in the UK, and they were talking about mobile. Mobile was 23 or 30% time spent, but only 2% in media dollars. I remember the CMO of Unilever at the time saying, if we doubled the amount of money we were spending on digital, doubled it, we'd be at 2% because they were only spending 1%. So I've been there. I know. I'm telling you how this is going to end. It's going to end really well for people that stay the course, and it's going to end really poorly for people that abandon ship, that are poo-pooing, that are naysayers. I want to give you a different example. I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story, and I don't know if Ruben is still here, but he's going to love the story. I'm sure he can come back to it later. I want to tell you a story about Crayon, about my company Crayon. Many of you have heard elements of the story. Many of you have heard of how my company Crayon, social media boutique, we specialized in new media, in new platforms like Second Life, like the metaverse, virtual worlds at the time. Guess what? Our office was in Second Life, Crayonville. Join us in Crayonville was our tagline. There was no website. Actually, the website was just a postcard. Hello from Crayonville. Come and join us. Click on the postcard. Opened up Second Life as well. We were on the cover of the Wall Street Journal. We were featured on primetime ABC because we practiced what we preached. We did the most amazing program for Coca-Cola called Second Life. Called Virtual Thirst. I was like, called Second Life? Yes, Coke invented Second Life. Called Virtual Thirst, where ultimately what we said is, if Coke were to be in Second Life, and of course Coke should be, because why? Coke is in 206 countries. Coke is wherever its customer, its consumer is. So if its consumer is in Second Life, then Coke should be in. But here's a problem. You can't really drink cans in Second Life. How do you quench your thirst? Well, you can have a thirst for knowledge. You can have a thirst for inspiration. Great. So how would you dispense this thirst quench? Well, you probably need a vending machine. But what would a vending machine look like in a virtual world? Would it be a rectangular metallic, device that plugs into a wall, a socket, electricity? And what would it dispense? A can? Or could it dispense optimism, happiness, joy? And so what we did is we opened up a challenge to all the developers, the degens, rather than go out and bring the fancy programmers and designers and the agency involved. We took it to the people. And so I'm going to show you now a little clip from the unveiling of the winning entry.
Imagine a world in which a simple vending machine could dispense not Coca-Cola, but the essence of Coca-Cola: refreshment, joy, unity, and experience. In Second Life, the online world with millions of members, anything is possible. Even avatars get thirsty. What they thirst for most are experiences. With that in mind, the Coca-Cola Company launched Virtual Thirst in May 2007. This contest challenged the public to submit concepts for a virtual vending machine of the future, an appliance that could dispense experiences rather than beverages. Working with new marketing firm Crayon and virtual worlds agency Millions of Us, Coca-Cola assembled an advisory board of Second Life residents and designers. This board selected a winning concept from the many submissions that were accepted in Second Life, MySpace, YouTube, and VirtualThirst.com. The winner, the Lucky Puzzle Bottle concept from resident Emery May, is one of both experience and surprise. An avatar journeying through Second Life may find one of the 3 mysterious puzzle bottles, which, when solved, offer those nearby a truly refreshing and invigorating experience. A snow globe-style photo booth, a giant bubble ride, or a snowball vending machine that allows residents to have a virtual snowball fight. The puzzle solver is also given one of 3 cool Coke prizes. The Virtual Thirst Contest is the Coca-Cola Company's first significant experience within the fast-growing community of Second Life. By listening and collaborating closely with the community, Virtual Thirst has been a unique opportunity for the world's largest beverage company to learn and to join the conversation in and around virtual worlds.
Now, that was a little merchandising video that was put together. And remember, Second Life was circa 2006, 2007. There was no advanced audio. We used to pipe in audio through Skype sometimes to be able to emulate some kind of voice, but it was very duct tape and chicken wire. Why I show this to you is because a journalist, I said I was going to tell you a story. A journalist called me and said, we heard about the work you were doing in Second Life, and we're doing a feature story, a cover story on Second Life. Would you like to be interviewed? And it was Wired. I was like, hell yeah, I want to be interviewed. And I gave this journalist a lot of time. I answered all their questions, so much so that they asked me if I would put them in contact with my client, with Michael Donnelly, which I did. And Michael was very forthcoming and shared everything that he had done, and the vision and the strategy, etc., behind it. Two important points. One, this journalist had never actually set foot in Second Life. So they were writing a piece on Second Life, but they never actually experienced Second Life themselves. So everything that they were writing about was from the outside in. But more importantly, it was a hatchet job. And they never disclosed that it was a hatchet job. And this was the headline of the article. This is just the digital version of it. How Madison Avenue is wasting millions on a deserted Second Life. And there's Michael Donnelly literally in the very first sentence, the very first headline. Can you imagine how Michael felt? Can you imagine how I felt, that we had been essentially lied to, and how this had been misrepresented? But I don't want to, I don't know what became of the author of this article, but it is indicative of all media. This is what happens. Journalists are commenting and reporting, and they jump on it while there's hype. And the minute that there's something that maybe represents a little bit of a turn, they're very quick to say, Second Life is deserted and crypto is done for, Ponzi scheme, and creator coins are dead and NFTs are a passing fad. It couldn't be further from the truth. You've heard me often say, don't look at the finger, look at where the finger is pointing. Don't look at the money. The money is not the reason why you should be doing any of this right now. What you should be doing is building. What you should be doing is looking at where the finger is pointing. Let me give you a few examples. I remember the naysayers, the skeptics, the critics, some of the journalists. I don't want to find out, I don't care that you had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch. What were they talking about? Twitter, right? I don't want to see someone running and ramming their head against a brick wall. What were they talking about? YouTube. No one will ever care about that poor production value of those videos of said human ramming their head into a brick wall. I suppose that was a precursor to Jackass. Or how about, I will never, ever, if my mobile phone ever rings and offers me a 25-cent coupon, a quarter off a Starbucks beverage, as I walk past the Starbucks, I'll throw my phone into, through the window. Well, guess what? My Starbucks Rewards, Starbucks app, and now they're getting into NFTs, one of the most advanced, progressive loyalty mechanisms in the world from a brand standpoint, using all of those same tools and technology. Look back at Second Life, 2006. Can you imagine if people hadn't abandoned ship? Can you imagine if people had stayed and built, if the brands hadn't run away with their tails between their legs because Michael Donnelly got basically duped, fooled, misled, and misrepresented? And again, I'm not trying to slander the journalist. I'm not. But I am saying very, very clearly that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is you take the good with the bad. You take the happy with the sad. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but you keep on moving forward. You pick up the pieces and you keep moving forward. Can you imagine where Second Life would be? By the way, when I look at the state and the quality of virtual worlds today, it's not advanced. It's not beyond where Second Life was. Second Life is still ahead of where a lot of this metaverse experience is happening right now. That's my message for you. Keep building. Keep your head down. Don't be distracted by the naysayers, by the critics, by the price of crypto. If you're in it for the short term, then let the chips fall where they may. However, if you are in it for the long run and the long term, keep on building. And don't be dissuaded. Don't be demoralized. Don't be dejected. Don't be demotivated by what is a short-term pain in order to realize that long-term gain. That's how I'm looking at it right now. Going back to Alpha Collective, for example, I've launched a collective during quite possibly the worst possible time. Quite possibly the worst possible time. But I could look at it a different way. I could look at it a different way and say at the same time, it's never been more affordable to buy into this. But the price does not matter if ultimately value is what is being created and utility is what is being delivered. You know, the actual mission, elevator pitch of Alpha Collective is the vision of helping executives and degens, so your corporates and your entrepreneurs, partner and win. Why partner, why win, or how win? Well, partner represents the fact that the two sides need each other desperately. The brands are looking for ideas. The brands are looking to break through the clutter. The brands are looking for relevance and resonance. The brands are looking for life. The brands are looking for growth. They're going to find it where their consumers are, where the puck is heading, and ultimately where there isn't the noise and all of the overcrowded clutter. The degens, the entrepreneurs, are desperate for investment. They need brands. They need partnership. They need sponsorship. They need what I call the brand bullies to show their faces. It is a match made in heaven. It's how I've built my entire career. It's what I've been hired to do, to speak at dinners and trade marketing events and conferences and fairs. And it's all about sellers trying to get in front of buyers credibly, persuasively. Well, I'm trying to create a safe place and space, a collective, a community for buyers and sellers to come together, to partner and win. What win? How win? When win? Well, win means the presence and the participation of strategy. Because when we do things for the sake of doing them, when we have tactics in search of strategy, when we have solutions to non-existent problems, what we end up with is a mess. What we end up with is the worst of the new. What we want is the best of the old, which is the established legacy brands, partnering with the best of the new, which is this new building platform, this new haven, this new sandbox where people come together with shared values, with shared ownership to benefit together, shared rewards. I think I used this quote before. The individual is the collective is the individual. I love that quote. My belief is that people coming into the Alpha Collective, all they need to justify the spend is one deal, one insight, one introduction, one partnership, one hire, whether they're hiring or whether they're being hired, one idea that can change an industry, a brand, a company, a life. One, under $50 a week. I want to leave you with something that I said yesterday, and it's something that actually rings really true for me. I've never been as scared as I am right now. I have never been this scared, petrified, in fact, but I'm not afraid. It's a big difference. I'm scared, got to be scared, got to feel a little nervous, got to have butterflies in your tummy because it keeps you humble. Don't want to become too confident, overconfident, arrogant, hubris, but I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid because I know where I'm heading. And I know that the only way is to keep moving forward, and to elevate myself and elevate others in the process. So thank you, everyone. Glenn said, love the discussion, Joseph. Very helpful. Glenn, you are a super fan. I know that you're out the country at the moment. Otherwise, you would have been on the show. And I know that you wanted to know more about Alpha Collective. I hope this answered your question. And Brian Wallace is here. He said, good to see you, Joseph. Hope to see you in New York next week. I haven't even registered for NFT NYC. I don't even know if I can be, but I'll maybe go and crash a few parties because I've just been too busy building, to be honest. And I know I need to be there because of the networking. So I need to get my SH1T together. Well, we will be back tomorrow and Thursday with regular programming with regular guests. But I hope you enjoyed the solo show and just a little bit of insight into my heart, my soul, and ultimately where I'm heading. I will not tell you that I'm Chuck Norris approved. Instead, I will just end with this.
Thank you for watching the show about hope, positivity, optimism, and if there's time left over, a little bit of marketing with your host, multiple author, and global keynote speaker, Joseph Jaffe. If you like the show, tell a friend or two. Please subscribe to the show. And if you want to get inside news, previews of upcoming guests, and much more, visit josephjaffe.com/subscribe to sign up for the show's newsletter.
And despite the best ministrations of your wife, you still look ugly.